Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So as some of you know, I am with child. I am 20 weeks pregnant, and I am not going to share what we're having yet. I'll do that in a later video. But I decided to add another segment to my channel where I journey my pregnancy because I was recently diagnosed with gestational diabetes. And gestational diabetes is a pregnancy-related illness, and yes, it is diabetes, but it only affects you for the term of your pregnancy. So with gestational diabetes, it affects about 200,000 women that are pregnant each year. So don't feel like you're alone. You're not alone in this. And I feel like I'm sure a lot of people felt I was completely devastated. I was depressed. I was like, oh no, why did this happen to me? And I thought that it was something I did. I said, well, I'm overweight. Clearly, that is the reason why I have it. But what I found out from the dietitian and as well as from my doctor is that it's nothing that I did. It's actually my placenta, and it is causing me to not produce enough insulin. And so my blood sugar is high, and that in turn makes the blood sugar for my baby to be high as well. So to avoid any complications, they have you test your blood. And for me, I have to test mine twice a day using a glucose machine. I'm going to show you guys how to use the glucose reading machine for those that have diabetes. And there are so many different types of glucose reading machines. So everybody may not receive this particular one. But the one that I have is the One Touch Ultra Mini. And this is the one that I use. And I also received some Lancets, aka needles. And these are going to be used, of course, to poke your finger. And I also received these. They're able to do testing for you. And this is the One Touch Ultra Blue. And this is for testing, of course, of your glucose. So inside of the One Touch Mini box, if you have this one, then you'll know that you have a little black bag. And once you open up this bag, you're going to see your reader as well as your Lancet machine. And they did give you some additional Lancets here. And I'm going to show you guys every single part. Because the reason I wanted to do this video is when I received all of this, I was still overwhelmed. Because I don't know about anybody else, I tend to learn a lot easier by looking at something as opposed to reading it. Because, you know, pregnancy brain on top of getting bored easily is not fun. So this is the reader. And you have two ends. This is, I believe, the charging station. And the other end here is where you insert your strip. So when you open up your strips, it has this little container here. And inside the container is just a whole bunch of strips that you're going to use. And how you know that you have the correct ones, make sure you pay attention to this, because my pharmacy actually got mine incorrectly. They gave me the wrong Lancets for my machine. And how you'll know that you have the right one is it'll say your code and it'll have your number. So for mine, it says code 25. And once you turn on your reader, before you drop some blood onto the dial, it's going to say your number there. So mine is going to read C25 with the One Touch Delica. Of course, like I said, this is where the needle goes in. Here on the end here are dials at the top, and this is going to go from 1 until the number 7. It's basically how far you're comfortable with your needle going into your finger. So I have mine on the highest dial. I have mine on 7 because it seems as if when I poke mine, it doesn't produce enough blood. So I noticed that 7 works best for me, but any number could work best for you. You just have to try, you know, trial and error to see which one works best. And on this end here is where the needle is located. So you're just going to twist the top off. And you're going to get one of your Lancets. Show you what your Lancet looks like. It looks like this. And right now you cannot see the needle, but you will in just a second. So you're going to take it, stick it in the top here, twist it off. Your needle is exposed. So you're going to take the top, put it back on, twist it. There you go. Now before you use your machine, you just push this down and it just basically pushes the needle in place. And when you push this button here, after sticking it onto your finger on where you would like to poke it, I would recommend either index finger, which one works for you. You can just switch it out, whatever you want to do. Now, they do have any instructions, different ways in which you can test your blood. This is just the easiest way that my dietitian recommended. She recommended that you don't poke directly at the top because it's going to hurt more, but it actually feels a lot better if you poke on the side. So for me, I usually always use my left finger and I poke here. So it's not time for me to take my shot yet, so I'm just going to show it to you, but I'm not going to actually poke myself. So you're going to take it and you're going to push that blue button. It's going to go, and then you're going to start to produce a little blood. And if it's not enough, just kind of push on your finger in a downward position and push it on the side, and it's going to get a little bit more blood for you. That's when you grab your One Touch Ultra Mini and you get one of these test strips out. Just make sure that you close this back immediately because these are very sensitive. So keep it closed tight. And you're going to pull out one of your strips. On this strip here, if you look right there on the left side, there is a white and black end. Then on the other side, it appears to be black and sort of like a brown color on the other end. This is the end that needs to go into your Ultra Mini. This is the end that your blood is going to go into. So you're going to take your strip with the black and white end like I showed you. You're going to stick it into here. And once you stick it in here, on the screen, it's going to show the number that I told you earlier. So if you have this machine, it should be C25 that you're going to see on your screen. After you see C25, you're going to see a black line and a droplet. That's the way of saying put your blood on the strip. So you just hold it. Make sure that you have your strip all the way in. And then the little blood that you have, you just hold it there while it counts down from 5 to 1. And once it gets done counting down to 1, take your hand away, and then it's going to pop up your result here. Now, each time you do this, it's going to record your results. So I'm going to go ahead and show you my last result. My last result, which was 102. That was my last reading for today. And as you guys can see, it's going to give you that number. You just go ahead and record that. And your dietitian should have given you a blood sugar testing diary. And inside of this diary, you are going to write down, and it just, like I said, it just depends on what your dietitian wants. If you are not taking insulin, don't worry about filling in that section where it says insulin. Only fill in however many times your dietitian said for you to test yourself, to write that number down along with the date. So I'm going to do a little close-up so you guys can see. I have the date. I have it that there's breakfast, lunch, dinner, bedtime. So I did not have one on this initial one here because I had got the machine later in the day. So I was able to record for my lunchtime. And like I stated earlier, I only have to do this 2 times right now. That's because I'm so early on in my pregnancy. But they may request at a later date that I test myself more than 2 times a day. So maybe about 3 to 4, it just depends. Now, discarding the strip and the needle are just as easy. Of course, once you're done with the strip, you can just take that and you can throw it away. Some people may prefer to just tie it up in something before tossing it out because it does have your blood on it. But to remove the needle from here, you just go back, twist that top again. And of course, there's gonna be that needle. And you're gonna push the second button. This is the release button. Once you remove the release button, it's going to push that needle. I'm sure you've seen it go across the room. But yeah, it pushed that needle out of there. And now you can take this needle, put it inside of the same container that you used when you first twisted it off, and bingo. Now you're safe and others are safe from this needle being exposed. So now you can go ahead and toss it out. I hope this video helps anyone out there that is dealing with the same thing and they want to know like what's the proper way to use one of these machines, what's the proper way to record everything. And of course, I will give you some more information regarding gestational diabetes and how to maintain it and how to maintain your sanity during your pregnancy. So guys, until then, I will see you next time. And don't forget, on my channel, I always do freebies and wins. And of course, that is on Wednesday. I hope that you all have a great day and I will talk to you soon. Bye.